Chapter 13, Lesson 3, Theoretical Probability. So theoretical probability is the probability that you would expect to come out when you're using math. So let's say we had the following three scenarios. So the first one, we have a deck of cards and we want to pick a jack. So if we have a deck of cards, we know that there are 52 cards in the deck, and we know that there are 4 jacks, because there's a jack of hearts, jack of diamonds, jack of spades, and jack of clubs. So if we were to write the theoretical probability of picking a jack, we would know there's 4 jacks, so that becomes our numerator, and our denominator is our total amount of cards, which is 52. So it'd be 4 over 52. If you wanted to convert this into a decimal number or percentage, you would just divide 4 divided by 52. If I wanted to know picking a spade, I know that there are 4 suits: hearts, diamonds, spades, and clubs. And each suit has 13 cards. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, jack, queen, and king. So we know that, and if I wanted to pick a spade, I know there are 13 spades in total, and there are 52 cards in the whole deck. So my fraction would be 13 over 52. Now let's say I was using dice, and I had 2 dice, and I was going to roll both die. And I wanted to know how many have a sum of 8, how many have a difference of 4. So first thing I have to do is I have to calculate all my options that I could possibly get when rolling 2 die. So if I rolled on my first die, if I rolled a 1, and on my second die I rolled a 1, my total would be 2, 1 and 1. If I rolled a 2 and a 1, I'd get a 3, 3 and a 1 and a 4, and so on. So now I have all my numbers in here, and I can see all the different sums of the 2 die if I rolled with roll 1 and roll 2. So now I want to know what's a probability with a sum of 8. So I look for all my 8s. So I can see as 8 is here, that's 1. Another 8 is here, it's 2. Another 8 is here is 3. Another 8 is here is 4. Another 8 is here is 5. So there are 5 8s. There are 5 8s in total. How many options do I have here? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I have 36 by 6, which is 36. So I have 36 total options, and the odds of rolling an 8 is 5 out of 36. Now, if I wanted to know a difference of 4, so difference of 4 means that the amount on the first die would be 4, there would be a difference of 4 than the amount on the second die. So how can I achieve that? So if I rolled a 5 on the first die, I would have to roll a 1 on the second die, because 5 minus 1 is 4. If I rolled a 6, I can roll a 2, and then the vice versa. On the first die, I can roll a 1, and on the second die, I can roll a 5, and on the first die, I can roll a 2, and the second die, I can roll a 6. So there are 4 chances of rolling a difference of 4. And once again, how many total chances are there? Well, there's 6 numbers on each die, so you'd multiply 6 times 6, which would give you 36. The last example we're going to see is if I had a spinner. So let's say I had a spinner here and I was going to spin it around and around. And I wanted to know, I was going to spin it twice, let's say. And I wanted to know if I added the 2 numbers together, what totals can I get? So if I spun a 1 on the first time, I can spin a 1 on the second time, which would equal 2. I could spin a 1 and a 2, which would be 3. and I could spin a 1 and a 3, which would be 4. I could also spin a 2 and a 1, which would be 3, a 2 and a 2, which would be 4, and a 2 and a 3 would be 5. And then I could spin a 3 and a 1, which would be 4, a 3 and a 2, which would be 5, and a 3 and a 3, which would be 6. So if I have 3 options on my spinner and I spin it twice, I actually have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different combinations that could come out. If I want to know which of them have a sum of 4 or greater, I just look. So here's a sum of 4, here's a sum of 4, here's greater, here's 5, and here's 4, 5, and 6. So if I wanted to know the probability of a sum of 4 or greater, once again, my numerator would be how many are 4 or greater, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out of how many total, which is 9. So my fraction would be 6 over 9. I hope this has explained theoretical probability for you in 3 different scenarios. Thank you for watching and listening.